I just caught up on the Eternaut last night, or La Eternata, as the actual title is in Argentinian, or Spanish, that is, for those of us who are plebes with language. Uh, yes, and I know I'm Delarose. I'm Spanish. I just called it Argentinian. You can make fun of me in the comments. It's fine. Yeah, totally valid. All right. But oh my gosh, this is the best science fiction show of 2025. I've been watching a lot of science fiction. There's Murderbot, of course, which was completely unwatchable. We've got Foundation continuing from Apple. We've got a Dune show that's going on. We've got Star Trek with its Strange New World Season 3 and now Alien Earth. But this really just destroyed all of them, and I'm really surprised by that because I didn't expect that out of a Spanish language show. Now, they put a ton of work into this, and it took a long time to film it. And on top of that, it took over a year in post-production to make this. So they really did do it right on every single level. It is a 6-episode series. There's not a ton of time investment, too. And there is one big fatal flaw in it, which I'm going to get into in a moment. Of course, yes, that's how I'm going to hook you here, guys. Thanks for being here. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things sci-fi. This is your real sci-fi news, and I appreciate you for being here and for checking out our channel. If you're new here, I am an author of The Stars Entwined. This is a space opera book. I don't have a post-apocalyptic series. That's one of the few subgenres I actually haven't done. Maybe I should try my take on it. But this is my main series, and so if you like my thoughts on writing and sci-fi, you might enjoy this. If you like space stuff, this is absolutely going to be for you. Check it out. It's a trilogy. It's in the description below, and it's got a ebook, print, and audio, so you can read it however you like. And I have a beautiful new series that's going to be stemming out of this soon, so you'll want to catch up. Thanks for supporting our channel, for supporting everything I do here in the arts, and I appreciate everybody who reads. So, yes, the Spanish language adaptation of The Eternaut delivers the best science fiction television of 2025, transforming Hector German Osterheld, I don't know, his 1957 Argentinian comic strip into a gripping survival thriller that honors the source material. And I didn't know it honored the source material at the beginning of this. I just watched it, having never read the comic, but I actually did read the comic afterwards just to see how it all lined up. And it really lined up. I was very surprised how faithful it was to this comic strip. And it is about it's a group in Argentina. They're kind of like middle-aged men, which is kind of nice to watch. I feel seen. And with that, they're playing cards, and some crazy stuff starts to happen. That's really, really bad. This snow falls on the ground, and it's like radiated ashes that kills you as soon as it touches you. And it creates this entire apocalyptic wasteland that they're dealing with as it actually happens. And so they're all disconnected from everybody. Some EMP also hits, and all modern technology gets shut off, which is a great way to deal with this because this is written in 1957, so the technology they're using in 1957 in the comic is, of course, really outdated for today. So how do you do that for a piece that's not a period piece that you actually do have set today? Well, you have all new technology get wiped out, and so only the old stuff works, and that's exactly what they have. And I like that quite a bit. It adds for a nice, compelling moment of the show. The main character, Juan, is getting flashbacks and these kind of weird visions and things like that throughout the show, and you kind of are like, what's going on? And it doesn't actually answer the question in the first season of the show, but the comic, the one difference with the comic, it actually does open with it, and it does not create a mystery about the main character. So they added a mystery element for the Netflix show, where who is this character? And I will spoil what the character is. The Eternaut, he's a time traveler through eternity, continued a story, tragedy that left him lost in time, shipwrecked like a sailor, abandoned in the middle of the sea. So the dude is a time traveler that goes throughout time, and this is his story, and that's how the comic presents it. They're actually having him tell his story to a comic writer in the comic, and so it is, like I said, not a mystery in the comic. So I now know, even though they didn't actually explain it in the series, it actually ends with him kind of realizing there's something different about his life, but he doesn't know what it is still after the 6 episodes, but that is how it does end up. So he goes out, and he actually just is looking for his daughter in the TV show, and is really just trying to preserve his family. And beautiful stuff. He had shown with a husband and wife who are loving and care about each other and care about their child. His daughter's like college age, and so even though she's not a little kid, they still care about her and they still want to protect her. And the like, this is just a nice family unit. I'm just surprised I'm watching this on Netflix with a character who's this good and who's a good father, who's a good role model, and is a strong male lead that you actually want to follow. Now, he doesn't have any of the sort of typical sci-fi tropes or anything like that, where he's just like a super genius or there's something interesting or weird about him. He just comes across as a normal guy throughout the series, and that's kind of nice to watch a normal guy doing what he must to protect his family. What a great theme, right? This is just something that, again, relates to pretty much everybody in this whole sort of setup and the like. Now, there's a cast of characters, and they all kind of have their own motivations and follow along with him as it goes along. Each episode kind of has its own twist that adds to things, but the first 2 episodes are really about that like fallout, kind of getting their bearings for where they are, trying to figure out if there's any other survivors, and then they do find different pockets of survivors and the like over the course of that, and it ends up pretty nice on that. Once it transitions to the middle of the series, they find that there's bug monsters that are around everything, and they are very, very scary things that have like built a wall up in an area of Argentina, which is very, very scary and actually changes the dynamic of the show quite a bit as you're on the run from all these bug monsters at the same time. And we still really don't know what's going on. It seems like there's an alien invasion happening, that something pretty bad has obviously happened with the world. In the comic book, the little difference is there's a bunch of American nuclear testing going on because this was written in the 50s when everybody was scared of nuclear bombs and the like. And so the little bit of a difference there is that the nuclear stuff kind of is a little different than just the alien invasion element, which is all kind of correlated here into one thing. Now, he finds his, I guess I'll spoil some of it here. He does find his daughter and he goes on to a different thing. And we see at the end there's another mystery where there's a different kind of alien who seems to be like the main boss or whatever, who's radiating this energy that's actually controlling people's minds, making them go psychotic and kill other humans. So pretty interesting. So you've got a lot of elements to it. You had that snow radiated death stuff that happened, and then you have the bug monsters, and then you have this like kind of psychological monster as well as it goes through things. Now, I would say that like for the most part, like even though the bug monsters are scary and some scary stuff happens in the middle of it, it doesn't rely on, I just watched Alien Earth, and Alien Earth really is just like horror sci-fi where it's like jump scares, right? Where it's like you're looking around a corner and suddenly the alien's there, oh my gosh, right? And this does not rely on that. This definitely does not. It's more of like a slow build where you're just sitting there in dread because any move you make for any of these people can just kill you at any moment. If you just, put on your mask wrong, you might be dead. And so it just creates that like overwhelming sense of dread and suspense throughout the entire thing. It's so well written on that level as it builds. They do end up at this like military compound, and this is very similar to a post-apocalyptic show called Jeremiah, which is also a foreign comic, which was done by a French Belgian artist back in the day. But in Jeremiah, they're in a post-apocalyptic world, and they're trying to they believe there's this like hope of this like military complex, and they're finding that one. This one, like they're searching for that and they're going for it at the end, but it's very clear it's a very different vibe here, where the people who are in the military are abusing authority and of course trying to create as a big like freedom stealing sense of order as well. So you can't exactly trust them as this builds up. Now I'm trying to like spoil a little bit, but not kind of ruin things for you. That's kind of the overall gist of this entire thing. But since it is only 6 episodes, and I'll get to the flaw in the series now. The flaw in the series is it doesn't end. He kind of finds that mind controlling alien at the end, and then kind of realizes that he's not who he thinks he is at the end because there's something different, and he starts to remember things. But that's all you learn. And then it ends. The show just ends at that point, and it's like, oh, they didn't resolve the problem here. It didn't actually resolve anything. And gosh, what's happening at this point? Well, Netflix did announce that they are continuing it. I'm glad it did well enough on that level. And, Netflix usually does 2 seasons at the very least before they give things the axe. Hopefully this one will get 3 or 4 before it's said and done. I mean, it's like I said, it's very, very well done. But the problem is they had not filmed a second season, and so it has not started filming yet, which means we're not going to get a turnout, likely with the amount of post-production that's done on this show as a second season until maybe 2027. And this is a main problem with modern TV. It's like you get these like 6-8 episode shows, which are, it's like they build up. They're very much serialized shows. The episodes don't stand on their own so much, and it's one story. And then you don't get the next conclusion part for 2 years? I mean, that's pretty rough to try to even remember 6 episodes at that point. The other good Netflix show that's done pretty well was Three Body Problem, based on the novels of the same. And it's like, okay, well, that one was great last year, and I'm waiting for it, and I'm probably not going to get that till 2026 either. So this is the problem with modern TV. They need to figure out a way to get these into production and at least do things in back-to-back years. And I'd love more episodes because, I know I get it. I get there's a funding sort of thing, and with streaming, it doesn't make sense for them to do that weekly episode that you'd watch every single week, like the old shows. But it makes it harder to connect and stay connected to these sorts of things. And that's just my my criticism of the industry right now that I'd like to talk about as well with this. But great show, highly recommended. I definitely think this is the best sci-fi I've seen this year so far, and hope you enjoy it as well. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you like my thoughts on books, please, and also on writing, please check out my books. This is The Stars Entwined. It's beautiful stuff. You're going to really enjoy it. Great characters, a cool arc. It's in the description below, and I've also got a newsletter if you want to stay in touch and continue to read my books. I really appreciate everybody who does so.